What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our SEC football channel.
We got Stephen M. Smith on the line from Touchdown, Alabama, to break it down for us. Stephen, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, Mark. Saturday was the Crimson Tide spring game, and despite the little mist going back and forth inside Bryant-Denny, and probably a little bit of a smaller crowd than what Nick Saban is used to, there were some good things on the field in terms of the players, both offensively, defensively, and even special teams shocked a couple of people.
Okay, what happened on the special teams that really flashed?
Well, a field goal was made.
Okay.
A field goal of 43 yards was made by the freshman Will Riker, three-star for the 2019 class of Hoover, Alabama, the young man that was the #1 kicking and punting prospect according to the Coles kicking camp. He was also the #1 overall kicking prospect according to ESPN and the 24/7 Sports composite ranking. He went out there, made a field goal from 43 yards from Team White, made all 4 of his extra points. How about the young man can punt also? In the punting aspect, he averaged 42.2 yards per punt, had a long of 47 yards. So Will Riker showing he can do a little bit of everything on the kicking front.
Stephen M. Smith joining us from Touchdown, Alabama, reviewing the Tide's performance versus the Tide in Tuscaloosa on Saturday. How about this backup quarterback situation? What did you see out of those guys?
Mac Jones did a fantastic job in the scrimmage. I know he had an interception early on to Shane Lee. The freshman inside linebacker did a great job reading Jones' eyes, sinking back into coverage, and just making a big-time play. But one of the things that I saw from Mac Jones on the weekend, the younger him or him in the past, after making a mistake and getting scolded or chewed out by Nick Saban, he would crawl into a hole, he would get down on himself, and more mistakes would ensue after that. But on Saturday, something different happened. He threw the pick to Shane Lee. Nick Saban gave him a look, kind of chewed him out a little bit, but he bounced back beautifully. We're talking 2 touchdown drives, including one that ended up on a 29-yard score from Jones to redshirt freshman receiver Xavier Williams to give Team White a 17-10 lead over Team Crimson to start the third quarter. Mac Jones overall was 19 for 23 passing for 271 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. After that pick, really looked insane, calmed down, and maneuvered this offense to the surprise of a lot of Tide fans inside the building.
All right, talking college football with Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown, Alabama. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, where it's our aim to provide you the best in discussion, debate, and analysis. I'm always looking for those next wave of players who will be impact players at this level, whether it's a guy that redshirted last year, a guy that was just playing special teams, a guy that got a spot start or 2 that could be an impact player, roughly an all-conference player, somebody who's going to be counted upon this year. Both sides of the ball, Stephen, as you scan the field, who are those guys that you really like what they accomplished this spring and maybe showed up at the A-Day game with?
Well, I'm going to start with the defensive side of the ball first, Mark. I'm going to go to the secondary. Josh Jobe, the corner at 6'1", 186 pounds, entering his sophomore year out of Miami, Florida. Played his high school ball, his prep school ball during his senior year in Connecticut. He's got length, he's got ball skills, he's got size, he's tough, and he's got the aggression to frustrate wide receivers. This was somebody on Saturday that really disrupted the timing between Tua Tagovailoa and the group of receivers, Devonta Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs. Whomever was lined up on Josh Jobe had a difficult time separating their body from his. He did not allow a free release off the line of scrimmage. The young man was in the face, in the space, just in the grill of these wideouts. Forced 3 pass breakups to go along with 4 tackles. Really impressed with Joe. He had a tremendous spring and really played well in the spring game. Offensively, this young man may not have a lot to do this upcoming year, but the 2020 season will be his breakout month of a time, and that's going to be true freshman wide receiver John Mechie. If Calvin Ridley had a long-lost twin, had a long-lost brother, had a long-lost cousin from Canada, John Mechie is that guy. Both guys the same body structure. When Calvin Ridley played at Alabama, he was 6 feet, 190 pounds. John Mechie, 6 feet, 195 pounds. When Calvin Ridley was at Alabama, he was the one offensively that wore number 3. In 2018, nobody wore that number offensively. To start the spring of 2019, John Mechie pops up wearing number 3. And in terms of just the hands, the route running, the capabilities on the field, both guys very much so mirror each other. Mechie in the spring game, 5 catches, 135 yards, was the Dixie Howell Memorial Player of the Game. He had 1 catch on Saturday, Mark, where Mac Jones slightly underthrew his ball in double coverage. John Mechie, the ability to stop, recognize where he is in relation to the football, turn, adjust, contort, and bring the ball in double coverage looked a lot like what Calvin Ridley did during his time with Alabama from 2015 through 17. So, though I don't see Mechie doing a lot this season because of the fact that you have Judy, Ruggs, Waddle, and Smith ahead of him, that spring game, the young man from Canada, he put on a show.
All right, I'm going to mark down the name, keep him tucked away in my notes for 2020, and you have proven to be a prophet many times, Stephen M. Smith, so we will see if that holds true once again. Anybody else out there that we can anticipate possibly being a factor who hasn't been in the past?
Another guy I'm going to look at, Josh McMillan here. Joshua McMillan on defense at linebacker at 6'3", 237 pounds, redshirt senior, came in that 2015 class, a guy that's kind of the old man on the team along with Dylan Moses. McMillan hasn't really had a lot of playing time in his career. He's got 19 tackles through the 4 seasons he's been here, including 14 a season ago. Kind of a plug-and-play guy. But I feel like this season coming up, he's earned the trust of the coaching staff. He's earned the trust of the players. He will more than likely get the first crack at weak side linebacker right next to Dylan Moses. Josh McMillan had 6 tackles in the spring game, including 1 for loss. Feels the holes really well. Like I mentioned, he's got the size, he's got the technique, he's got the strength at the point of attack. The main thing for him is being able to knife his way into the backfield consistently and stop the run and play the passing lane sideline to sideline. That will be the biggest question, the biggest ordeal for Josh McMillan. The youth at weak side linebacker is promising because Shane Lee, a freshman, true freshman, and Jalen Moody, who's going into his sophomore year, both guys recorded 1 interception apiece on Saturday. Jalen Moody returned his for a 30-yard touchdown, picking off the freshman quarterback in Paul Tyson. Of course, Shane Lee led Team Crimson with a tackle. So the youth at that spot, very, very promising. But right now, Josh McMillan, somebody that plug-and-play guy, but a guy that knows the system backwards, forwards, and sideways. He's a guy on defense that I really want to see have a good year in the ball.
Stephen, we had major issues here at the Mark Rogers TV Voice of College Football Command Center on Saturday. We had cable signal issues. We had to switch out a box. I was all lined up to watch Ohio State, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Alabama, Auburn, on down the line. Penn State, Minnesota had games on DVR, Mississippi State, Missouri, all sorts of games on DVR ready to roll, and we had our issues. So not that we don't rely on you on a regular basis, but especially since I was not able to take in the Tide spring game.
I can't believe it, Mark. You are the last person, Mark, that I would want to see technical difficulties happen to on the home front.
Yes, we did. It was a bit of a crisis here for the again command center, but I believe we're up and running again and hoping to catch as many replays online as we can possibly find. Stephen M. Smith, touchdown Alabama. I encourage everybody who loves Alabama football, and even if you don't love Alabama football, if you're a college football fan that you pride yourself in keeping track of the major programs, well, at the top of the list would be, of course, Alabama. So check out the work there. It's pretty phenomenal in what they're able to crank out on a daily basis on Alabama sports across the board, and of course, football front and center. Stephen, we appreciate you stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend.